All right, today we're back with the Bremerton Food Line rebuild in Etch, and we're gonna take a look at the Our Partners and Our Supporters page. So Our Partners lists all of their partner organizations along with a name and a link to view more, which isn't exactly clear where this goes. It goes to their website, but we can probably clean that up. And then our supporters is similar, but appears to be somewhat broken at the top. It looks like there's two levels of supporters. So supporters that get larger treatment and smaller treatment. But for all of them, it looks like they should have a name, an image, and a link. We could use Etch exclusively to do this, but there's currently advanced custom fields is a little more robust, so we're going to use that for now. In the future, probably we'll use Etch alone. So both of these can use the same thing. I don't really, We're gonna have a number of different, so we'll have potentially resources, maybe programs, although there's only one. Directors, newsletters, events. Trying to think if there's a word that would work for both partners and supporters. Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head, so we'll just keep them separate for now. We can apply the same advanced custom fields data to both. So we'll go to ACF and we'll start with post types, add new. We will start with partners. And we'll say partners. Singular is partner. Hierarchical, which means it will be organized by alphabetically as opposed to by the date that it was added. And under advanced, we don't need the editor. We do need a featured image. We don't need, we'll be adding custom fields, but we don't need it in that way. We have a title, a featured image. So the only thing we're gonna need is a URL, looks like, because we have the title and the featured image. And then visibility, we'll set, what do we say, this is partners versus supporters. Both of them are gonna be, this is just the icon that will be used on the back end. These are all the WordPress dash icons. We could add a custom one, but we'll just see if we can find one that works. Partners, well, I thought there was a multiple person. There it is, group. Okay. And since they don't have full pages for each of these, we will probably actually want to exclude from search. People don't really need to be able to search for these. And while we're at it, let's make one more. Supporters, supporter, and then hierarchical again, no editor, no custom fields, visibility. And we'll give a $sign for supporters and exclude from search. So now we have partners and supporters, but if we click on them, we'll just need a URL. So under field groups, we'll add a field group, and we'll call it partner supporter details. And we'll make this a URL. And call it website URL. And then show this if the post type is partner or if it is supporter. Save. Okay, and now we can, we don't want to go to the front end yet. We want to add a few of these. We'll start with partners. I'm not going to make you watch me go through the process of saving images and uploading them, so we'll just use images that we already have in the media library. We will, though, use the right text. So food lifeline and website URL, copy link, set featured image. We're just going to set this featured image for all of them. Publish, add, Harvest Northwest, copy link, publish. We'll do 4 so that we can get down to the next row when we're building our template. So update, new, Kitsap community resources, copy link, set featured image, set publish. Oh, we could have taken advantage actually of our bulk import tool. Let's do that. Tools, bulk import. This is a tool I built. If you're interested in it being released, let me know. We'll go with, we want to add a bunch of partners, 1 per line. We want to publish them. So where did we leave off? Did we create Kitsap community resources? I've forgotten already. We did. Okay, so we'll go Kitvantage, Kitsap Humane Society, Washington Food Coalition, Central Kitsap Bank. We'll just do the end of this line, and we can do more later. Create. And now if we go to partners, we see all of them. I don't think you can bulk edit a featured image. You cannot. But we'll just do this the quick way. And I'm just gonna put this as examples. I'll fix this later when you're not having to sit through it. We'll just put a link there. Did that one. Date. We did that one. Update. forgot to update. Update. We did this one. Update. All right, now we can close all those and we can launch. Well, let's see. We want to go to our pages and find our partners. There we go. We also want to go to About Us because we're going to copy the this section here. Now we'll edit with Etch. We actually have to add an element before we can paste. Section, we'll put our hero at the top. It should say our partners already. There we go, our partners. And now we're going to want to loop through in our container here our partners. So we're going to need a loop. Let's see, this partners, I guess partners and supporters aren't quite the same. Supporters has some that are 2 across instead of 3, but that can just be a alternate styling of the same kind of loop. Let's see. I mean, most of these are businesses, so we'll call this business cards. And we'll create BEM classes. So this will be business cards container. And then inside of each of these, well, we'll have a loop first. So loop. And I don't remember if we can edit it from here or not, but we'll try. Partner. We're going to want to show all of them, so that'll be -1. Order by I think it's menu order. We'll look it up. We'll just look up the actual. That should be a P. So under, I assume this is under order. Let's see. Query. Order. Here's our possible menu order. Menu order is a weirdly named one. It is actually just the order that things are listed on the back end. So if we go to the partner, this is menu order. So in this case, by default, menu order is alphabetical for hierarchical post types. Now I'll probably install a plugin that'll let these be dragged and dropped into a new order so the client can manage what order they show up in. But for now, all we need to make sure is that that will work. And then hit yes. only show published ones. Okay, cool. And our loop should go in our container, and then here what we want is for each one of these we want a flex div, and inside the flex div we want text, a link, and an image. Except for they need to go in here. There we go. And the flex div will have, this will be business card. Actually, this will be a heading, I believe, not a text. So we'll go heading. I hit text again. Heading. Get rid of the text. Heading will be, it will be H2, but we don't want it to be all big like this. So we'll give it a class of H, too small. We'll go with H4. There we go. This should be, well, let's see in our loop what our loop is as item. Item works. So this will be item dot, what did we name it? Website URL, I think. Website URL. Is that right? Nope. Oh, except for it's an ACF field, so we need ACF in there, I believe. ACF dot, there we go. Okay, well, we definitely need that here, and let's here just say visit website. This one should be item.title, and this one should be item dot, item dot featured image dot featured image. Okay, so now we have the data in here. We just need to format it into cards. So as I discussed in an earlier video, I like to put my styles all in the section here so that I can see everything all at once. So container, this will be display grid, template columns, three. Perfect. It looks like we've got a horizontal gap, but no vertical gap. I don't actually remember I get mixed up between flex and grid, which one has gap that covers both and which one doesn't. So grid, let's just look grid gap. Row gap and column gap. So what we want is a row gap. isn't working for some reason. It is working, just not in our builder. Okay, now we want to move our images to the top and style these. So did we already create BEM classes for these? No. Business card, create BEM classes. So this will add all of the classes that we need. So under business card, we're gonna say we want the image to be at the beginning. And we also want our link, we want the entire card to be clickable. And this is something that automatic CSS gives to us. So we can say on our anchor text, we can give it a class of clickable parent. And that'll make it so, it adds a pseudo element that's absolutely positioned with an inset of 0, but here's the side effect that you have to know about. Currently, look, everything is now a link because it's taking each of these elements and trying to expand the pseudo element as far as it can go, and currently it can go all the way to the edge of the page. So what we need to do is we need to set business card display relative. Now that will not display, position relative. That should constrain it. Okay, so now if we each one is constrained by the parent element. So clickable parent and position relative. We also want to, for this business card, add an outline so that if someone's using a keyboard to tab through this, they can see which card is selected. And we want to outline the whole card, not just the little visit website button. So we're going to see if I remember the class name. I think it is focus parent outline, but I honestly don't remember. It is. Okay, so that's a good sign. Next, we need to decide what we want these to look like. They're just square boxes on the old site. We're using a little bit of border radius on this site. So let's go with business card. Let's set the background to secondary ultra light. Border radius L, and now the border radius for our card and the image are different. Let's say extra large for now, just so we can. So you can see the top and the bottom aren't the same. So we could set, well, we're gonna have to set the border radius on the bottom to 0 anyways. So for image, let's say border radius, I believe it starts on the top left. So we'll say, we're actually going to just change this to large though. So we'll go large, large, 0, 0, because we don't actually want a border radius on the bottom. We're going to want a element to wrap these so that we can add padding to that without having to add individual padding to each one. So let's add another flex div. We'll put that here. Heading will go inside it. Anchor will go inside it. Content, we need to, since we didn't have this when we created the BEM classes, we'll need to add those. So business card __ content. And then we'll go back to the business card. And add forgot the __ and padding will be space M. Which is probably too big. S, save. For some reason, the builder is now missing our images, so we'll refresh. There we go. And there we have it. Probably want to hover state. Let's see what we can make our hover state. We can change the, well, we can give it an outline for sure. Let's business card hover outline solid secondary. And background color secondary light. Secondary light is darker than just secondary, it looks like. If we say secondary dark, how about that? We could just go primary here, I think. And this could go semi light. I meant base. We don't want that to be red. That's still very, oh, semi-light is darker than light. Let's just get rid of our outline completely. There we go. Here's our partners. We can do the same thing actually, what's the best way to do this? We can just duplicate this entire page and then change the loop. So our partners and our supporters, so we'll just trash our supporters and then we'll actually empty the trash, because otherwise we'll end up having not being able to use the correct permalink. So we're gonna I forgot, I'm so used to using bricks that has a duplicate feature. Never mind, we're just gonna add our supporters again and set the parent to about us, publish, and then normally I don't like to have two editors open, but I'm not going to make any more changes here. So I'm going to go edit with Etch and then copy the hero, paste, and then copy business cards, paste, and then move business cards up to the top, move hero above that, remove our section, and now we just need to change the loop here from partner to supporter. Okay, now let's add a couple supporters real quick, and we're gonna need a taxonomy to choose either featured supporters or regular supporters. They may have more categories in the future, because we could create a just a checkbox, but it's more flexible for the future if we use a taxonomy. So we'll close that one so we don't actually overwrite anything, save, and now let's go back to, oh, I changed this and it's going to apply to all queries. So let's go to our loop manager and create a new loop, and we'll call this one supporters, and supporter, this will be -1, order by menu order, and we'll save that. We'll go to taxonomies, create a new taxonomy, and call it this is where not having a better name for partners and supporters is not coming in handy. So we will well, we call them business cards. We'll call these business categories. This is not the ideal name, I don't think, but although we're only using this actually for supporters, not partners. I don't know. We might use it for both in the future. So a hierarchical just means it's like categories instead of like tags, so you can see all of the options instead of having to know what they are and start typing them. I don't think, yeah, that's good enough. And we want to apply this to just supporters for now. So now if we go to supporters and we'll add, oh, they're gonna make me spell this, UE, Uland Foundation. New supporter, Uland Foundation. You would think this should go to their website, but we'll just do this for now. Once again, we'll set the featured image here and publish. And then we're gonna add a new category called featured. Oops, I didn't. Featured. I have to add new business category, then update. Okay, now we'll add one. We'll add one that's not featured. Let's come down here and ERINNJ Hale. And the website here, there it actually is their website. Set a featured image, publish, not featured. Okay, so now what we're gonna go do is taxonomy query. I'm gonna have to look at that. Etch documentation. Taxonomy query. Here we go. For all, so taxonomy is category. Oh, that's listing categories. That's not what we want. We want to only show items with a particular category. So in this case, I think we just want cat is featured, although I don't know that that's right. Well, let's try it though. Uland. Maybe it is. Do we have more than one item here? I think maybe we only have one item. Okay, so let's go back out to here, our supporters. In this case, our loop should be supporter. Okay, it's showing both of them. So cat featured was not the right. Loops, basic loops. If we look at WP query, I think we might be able to find this query taxonomy term. I want the main query. Here we go. Field slug term. There we go. don't remember what the format was, so we'll just create a new one because it'll give it to us. Tax query, there we go. Tax query is what we want. Supporters, we don't need cat. Tax query. What did we call our taxonomy? Business categories, taxonomy key, business category. Business category, slug featured. Pages, our supporters. That did not appear to work. Did I save? Here it has an array inside of an array. Does that mean we need double? It does. Okay. So there we go. So we have supporters. We should rename this supporters featured. And then we're gonna add it. This one will just be supporters non-featured. For some reason it doesn't like copying the whole thing at once. Oh, it's automatically forcing query args, so we have to copy just what's inside of query args, it looks like. There we go. I don't know how to set all, terms is empty maybe? For ones that aren't featured? Let's find out. All right, I've got a call in a couple minutes, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. We have business cards. We can duplicate this. The second, so this loop is supporters featured. This loop is supporters non-featured. And that didn't work. So for now, we're just going to edit non-featured, so it just shows all of them. Well, we'll just put featured here too. And we'll come back and figure that out later. What we want to do is add a variation so that so these show 2 per row and these show 3 per row. So business cards So container, business cards container, and then we're gonna say business cards container featured. And there we have it. So we've got the two column, three column, and next time we'll figure out how to get the right ones into here and the responsive editing. All right, that's all for now.